The recent cold weather has led to some pipes bursting.
And fraternity and sorority life welcomes new members.
I'm Mason Gleva, and I'm here with a look at your full forecast.
We have that and more on this edition of 15 News at 5 starts now.
More, this edition of 15 News at 5.
15 News at 5.
15 News at 5.
15 News at 5 starts right now.
Thank you for joining us this evening on 15 News at 5. I'm Keaton Lewis.
And I'm Carly Bodinus.
BP's oil refinery has been evacuated, according to BP officials. Whiting City officials say the cause of the evacuation is a power outage at the facility, and as a result of this power outage, additional product is being burned, which will cause additional flaring of the stacks. This flaring is a safety release to burn off the extra product and is a normal process during an event. There is no danger to the public at this time. This event comes just 1 week after natural gas smells were reported across the south suburbs of Chicago, originating from the BP refinery in Whiting. Local fire departments are assisting BP's emergency response team by closing down roads nearby the refinery on the 2810 block of Indianapolis Boulevard. The public is asking use Calumet Avenue to travel north or south in order to avoid the area.
On the afternoon of Tuesday, January 16th, a sprinkler bursted in the Hari Union. Following this, a sprinkler in Uptown was set off. Keaton Lewis has this.
On the afternoon of Tuesday, January 16th, a sprinkler bursted in the Hari Union. The incident occurred over one of the booths in the Bell and Beacon. Only hours earlier, the temperature was down to -4 Fahrenheit. VUTV 15's Keaton Lewis spoke to Alexis Ratke, the building manager who was working at the time the event took place. She said she debriefed the firefighters at the scene and the union was closed for about 15 minutes. The north doors at BB's was completely flooded. After firefighters put an end to the gushing water, the Bell and Beacon as well as the cafe were closed for 2 days to undergo repairs. The following morning, a similar event happened at the nearby Uptown East apartment complex owing to the persistent Arctic air. Alexis Ratke, the same person we spoke to earlier about the union incident, is a resident of the complex's second floor. She said at 5:45 a.m. she was awoken by loud fire alarms and had to evacuate. As she evacuated, she said she did not see any water or any bursted sprinkler. Herself and other residents were outside for 2 hours before being cleared by the firemen to go in and grab necessities. At 11 a.m. that morning, management emailed all residents except those that lived on the first floor they were allowed to return. Meanwhile, dehumidifiers were placed all over the hallways to dry out the remaining water. Ratke says the sprinkler that bursted occurred on the second floor. The first floor accumulated the most amount of water at around an inch. The National Fire Sprinkler Association recommends heat tracing, proper insulation, and UL-listed antifreeze to prevent sprinklers from freezing and bursting. Even though Valpo FSL's primary recruitment season has ended, there are still plenty of opportunities to. Valpo's FSL Instagram has all of the latest FSL events posted regularly on Instagram. This year's sorority recruitment theme was All Roads Lead to Home. They had 3 different rounds: campus involvement, sisterhood, and values and preference. There were a variety of bid day themes such as New York City, Under the Sea, teddy bears, Taylor Swift's Lover album, and Mr. Clean. The 2024 Panhellenic and IFC boards were also announced. For the Panhellenic board, McKenna Callan is president. Vice president of operations is Amanda Wittersheim. Vice president of standards is Linnea Goymerek. Savannah Vella is serving as vice president of recruitment, and Peyton Wolfenbarger is serving as vice president of community development on the IFC board. Vice president of public relations is Parker Kelson. Corey McClure is serving as vice president of community development. Dominic Hoffman is serving as vice president of recruitment. Vice president of operations went to Nick Wolf. Vice president of standards is Matt Van Valen, and Noah Houseworth is serving as IFC president this year. SLG's biggest philanthropy event, Penny Wars, also took place recently, with Kappa Delta winning the title, ending Lambda Chi Alpha's 5-year win streak in the event. All funds go toward breast cancer research, with a portion going to the Susan D. Corman Breast Cancer Organization.
TEDx Valparaiso will once again be hosting their annual event on Friday, February 16th from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. in the Duesenberg Recital Hall. This year's theme is Solve for X. The theme digs at the question of understanding how students balance their personal, work, and school life. The theme will be sprinkled through the event with talks touching on AI, connections, leadership, sleep, finance, imposter syndrome, personal development, and much more. One of our own, John Williams, will additionally be in the lineup of talks. Tickets for students are $5 and $10 for the general public. Tickets can be purchased and the speaker lineup can be accessed online at TEDxValparaisoUniversity.com.
The shuttle bus this semester has introduced a new route and new location. During weekdays, students can now take an express shuttle between the Har Union and Chapel turnaround to Westman Hall. This second shuttle will only provide service to these two locations and will run through 3:30 p.m. Normal service will run as usual on a separate campus shuttle. The shuttles can be identified by their new electronic signs attached to the front of the vehicle. In addition to the new route, new pickup and drop-off locations were added to service parts of Brown Street, Indiana Avenue, College Avenue, and Monroe Street, with additional coverage of Union Street down to Locust Street. We have 15 Weathers Mason Gleva in the studio. So Mason, how long is this sunshine going to last?
It's going to stick around the next few days. Taking a look outside right now, sunset about 15 minutes ago, so it's a little gloomy looking outside now, but we cleared out pretty nice this morning. Lots of sun in the forecast the next few days, leading to a glorious weekend, and the warmth is here to stay, at least for now, at least the next 7 days. Current conditions here in Valpo, we're sitting at 42 degrees, calling it partly cloudy skies right now. North winds at about 10 miles an hour. Gusts might be a little higher. Nationally, taking a look at the temperatures, you can see where all that warmth is, and it's going to slowly move our direction here as the weekend goes on into next week. Going to allow for some picture-perfect weather by February standards. It was kind of a brutal January coming back from the semester. I'll have more in my full forecast later. Keaton?
Thanks, Mason. Coming up, we'll take a look at your Valpo sports.
But first, we take a look at a new TikTok trend called loud budgeting. Find out what they're about after this break.
A growing TikTok trend might be helping Gen Z become more financially responsible. It's called loud budgeting, and the original video has been viewed more than 1 million times on the social media platform. Karen Kefa explains the tenets of loud budgeting and how effective it can be.
Out, quiet luxury. In, loud budgeting.
It started as a joke, but turns out loud budgeting could be solid financial advice.
It's really about starting somewhere, and it's really a journey, financial literacy.
The viral TikTok trend is all about talking openly with friends and family about how much money you are willing to spend, when, and where.
It's a hard economy, and I think we all need to be for real, and just kind of stop living lives we can afford.
So I came to Blaze to pick up pizza for myself and my husband because 2024, I'm not paying for delivery services.
Financial advisors say the accountability is a good step, but budgeters also need to set specific goals and follow through.
It's hard to be loud about something you don't have, right?
The trend is part of a larger generational shift in spending habits as Gen Z and millennials, burdened with record student loan debt and economic instability, have learned to tighten their wallets.
One of the key things driving it is this more honest approach to spending money and being more open.
It also departs from long-held social taboos around discussing money, but etiquette experts say loud budgeting is mostly positive as long as you don't overshare.
You walk a fine line when you start making other people feel uncomfortable, or they don't want to ask you to go anyplace because they know it's going to be a hard no.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kefa.
A watch seller winds up on the hood of a car when the sale goes south. Patrick Cornell shows us the intense video in a take. Look at this.
Knocked down and taken for a wild ride the moment a Facebook Marketplace sale went very wrong. Stephen Morrow planned to sell his Rolex watch for $7,300 to a buyer who had other plans.
I never thought
in a million years this would happen.
Morrow said he handed over the Rolex and then realized the ruse. He was knocked down as he tried to open the door to retrieve the Rolex, then Morrow hopped onto the hood as the swindler sped away. Incredibly, Morrow is okay, and police are still looking for a suspect.
It's an expensive lesson. I'll live.
Researchers say this could be the first ever video of a newborn great white shark in the wild. Taken off the coast of California, it shows the aquatic animal shedding a pale film, which they believe is the baby's embryonic layer, suggesting the shark was merely hours old when it was caught on camera. The size and shape of the shark are also indicative of a newborn. Surprisingly, very little is known about where great white sharks give birth, so this could be a major breakthrough for science. Making the journey from sea to space, spotting not just one, but 19 spectacular spiral galaxies. NASA released these incredible images taken by the James Webb Telescope showing the most crystal clear view of structures millions of light years away. Using near and mid-infrared technology to highlight stars and glowing dust, scientists produced picture-perfect portraits of the celestial creations. The project, dubbed FANGS, will give researchers more reliable data on the life cycle of stars. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Take a close look at these sonar images. It's hard to make out, but researchers say it could be Amelia Earhart's long-lost plane. Earhart and her navigator went missing nearly 87 years while trying to fly around the world. Now, Deep Sea Vision, a deep-sea exploration company, says sonar imaging has revealed what may be her plane. The imagery was taken about 100 miles from Howland Island and is 16,000 feet below the surface. The island was the next place Earhart was expected to land after her last takeoff from Papua New Guinea. The CEO of Deep Sea Vision hopes to return to the site within the year to get further confirmation that the sonar anomaly is a plane.
After the break, Mason Gleva will have your full forecast.
And we'll take a look at Valpo sports happenings from this past week. Stick with us.
Looking outside campus right now, sun has set, the clouds slowly rolling back in. It was a glorious day today. Lots of sun in the forecast the next few days. Glorious weekend coming up, and the warmth is here to stay, at least for the next 7 days. Current conditions here, we've fallen to 41 degrees. We topped out in the mid to upper 40s today. Some spots hit 50. North winds about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Gusts maybe a little higher than that. Hasn't been too bad today at all. Taking a look at temperatures nationally, you can see we got a lot of warm air heading our direction. It's going to take its sweet time getting here, but it'll be worth it once it does late week next week. Highs in the 50s. 70 degrees in Oklahoma City, 71 in San Antonio, out there in Seattle. Closer to home, 44 in South Bend, 40 in Chester. Joliet still holding on to 50 degrees out there. Romeoville checking in at 52 right now. Taking a look at winds, not a big issue today. It was breezy the last couple days, but they've really laxed the last 24 hours. Winds maybe at 7 here in Valpo. The windy spot on this map is out at O'Hare. Taking a look at the region's radar, there's not a lot going on. Some rain down there by St. Louis. That's not going to be an us problem anytime soon. Just some clouds in later tonight. Timing those out here on feature track, you can see the clouds, they roll back in overnight tonight, and they kind of stick with us through the day tomorrow. So tomorrow might be a little more gloomier than it was today. Planning things out here tonight, we're going to fall about 32 degrees. Might fall a little more depending on how long we stay clear. Tomorrow I'm being a little ambitious with 44. That's contingent on seeing more sunshine. We'll be closer to 40 if we're stuck in the clouds most of the day. Guys,
I gotta say, that's a great start to February. Like seeing the sun out today and it's starting to warm up a little bit. I didn't even put my coat on today. It was nice.
Yeah, it was nice. I miss the winter and the snow though. Like we didn't get it very long. It was here for such a short time. I feel like we didn't get to enjoy like winter in the Midwest. But seeing the sun today was very nice.
Yeah, and maybe some more winter to come. We still got till March 20th.
For sure.
Your Valpo sports from this past week is coming up right after this break.
Well, it looks like the Valpo women's basketball team's fortunes may be changing for the better. After starting 0-5 in the new year, the Beacons have won 2 out of their last 3. The Beacons won at home versus Bradley 79-55. Leah Ernest was the leading scorer with 18 points and also the leading rebounder with 6. Unfortunately for the Beacons, they did lose to Indiana State on the road 70-49 on January 26. Leah Ernest was the leading scorer again with 24 points. The Beacons were able to turn things around and won at Evansville this past Sunday 70-59 with Leah Ernest once again leading with 19 points and 5 rebounds, followed by Neva Jackson having 16 points. The Beacons will now play at UIC on Sunday, February 4th. The Valpo Beacons men's basketball team has had a tough last 2 games, but they did achieve one of their biggest victories of the season, beating UIC at home on January 20th. Cooper Schwager led the team with 19 points. The game is notable for the second half as Valpo outscored UIC 50-38 in the second half of the game. The Beacons lost to Southern Illinois 75-69 on the road on January 21st. Cooper Schweiger led with 20 points and 7 rebounds. And then on January 27th, we lost to Missouri State at home at the Arc 81-70. Darius Diavero led with 20 points. Cooper Schweiger led rebounding with 7 rebounds. The Beacons are now 6-15 on the season, and they now face Evansville at home at the Arc this Saturday at 3 p.m. You can catch that game on ESPN+. The game is going to have a beach theme to it also, so you don't want to miss out. We wish all the best of luck to our Beacon sports teams.
You know, I love to hear that good news, and I definitely look forward to hearing even more good news, especially with the game coming up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, people have to remember that this is the first season that all of these players, and they also have Coach Powell back coaching the team as well. So they have to still work some things out and put all the things together. But again, I was at the UIC game, and a lot of progress has been made. Give this team some time. They're really going to start to get things going soon.
Coming up, we'll have a final look at your 7-day forecast.
Taking a look at our 7-day, you can't ask for better weather to start the month of February. Lots of sun in the forecast. January was a very cloudy month. A lot of classes were canceled. We're drying out, lots of sun in there. You can see highs mostly in the 40s, even some 50s possible late week highs. Not very bad at all.
Yeah, I'm super excited for that nice warm weather to move in. Thank you, Mason. I have a question for you. How is your semester going so far?
It hasn't been too bad so far. That's just because, I mean, classes were canceled, that first week and a half. So we were cool in there. We love it.
What about you guys?
I would say my semester has been busy, even with canceled classes. Like, I still have a lot of work to do. And, you know, since I'm a senior, I'll be graduating this spring. I've been focusing a lot on applying for jobs. So that's one of the things. How about you, John?
It's been wonderful. We're getting closer to May 11th each and every day.
Yeah, I would say it's been pretty stressful actually trying to catch up from the days that we didn't have classes because of the snow and the cold weather. But we're getting through it, so that's for sure.
Yeah. From all of us at VUTV, thank you for joining us this evening.